Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Kongman21 and I'm coming to you today from CCYDNE Hobbies, and today we are going to be doing a game review. Yes, that's right, more of a game review and kind of an explanation on how to play the game of the Rick and Morty Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind deck building game. We've played this a little bit here at the store. It's a really fun game, really nice and everything. We're going to do a quick little show. Oh yeah, this is also the, if I can get it to show up on the camera here, the first printing promo inside first printing. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in here and just kind of go over the game a little bit. You got your rule book here, which a lot of people will say, oh wow, like if you look at it, a lot of people will be like, this is too many rules, this is way too much. This is honestly the best way to write the rules, because I cannot talk, it leaves you with literally no questions once you read the rules, because they even have the specific card clarifications about like Alien Morty, Bird World, the Cromulent Dimension. It literally answers any questions you might have during the game and whatnot. It even has your turn sequence on the back and everything. I will be putting this off to the side just in case I for some odd reason forget. This is the promo Rick and everything that you get by buying the first edition. It is at the end of your turn, if you bought or gained 2 or more different card types, draw 2 extra cards and then discard a card. Pretty solid card. We have not played with it yet. You got a location token. Alright, so the way the game starts is you take all your Rick cards, which would be these. So what you do is you shuffle them up, and we played this with 4 people. If I remember correctly, it is, what, 3 to 5 players? I mean, I think it can work with 2, but it's not that great. It does not say. Okay, I know you can play it with 3 people. You can probably do it with 2 people, but it's not as fun because then you're always targeting the same person over and over again. So what you do here is you just shuffle up your cards. Then you would deal them out to each of the players, including yourself. So then you have 2 cards, they just go back in the box for later use. So all the players would flip over their Rick that they got, and this is essentially something that will help you in the game. So the card that we got is Happy Rick, which is if you play 2 or more equipment cards in your turn, draw a card. You'll see what equipments are here in a minute. Your opponent's got Calm Rick. Whenever you play a second Morty card during your turn, +1 power, and you may destroy a card with Morty and its name you control. The Crazy Rick, each time you play a location card, draw a card. And the Annoyed Rick, if you play 2 or more Rick cards during your turn, you may put a starter in your hand. You may put a starter in your hand into a foe's hand. Wow, I cannot talk. The other 2 Ricks there's the Angry Rick, if you control 4 or more different card colors during your turn, +2 power. And then the Drunk Rick, if you play 2 or more special cards during your turn, +2 power. Come on, camera, you can focus for me. There we go. I don't know why our camera is acting up today. It just is. Even on my personal channel, my camera's not wanting to focus correctly. So here you have basically your deck. These are the same cards that I will be showing you today. So what you do is for each of the players, what you do is you put out a Beth, a Summer, and a Jerry. These go in a deck. As you can tell, they are 0 cost with no effect, but don't worry, there are other cards that will boost these. These 3 cards go into a deck, and then you have 7 Genius Waves. This is how you are going to be starting off your power. So we have 7 power. All of these get shuffled up into a deck, and every player gets dealt the exact same deck. Every player starts off with the very same deck. We'll go ahead and shuffle this up. Like I said, I believe there is enough for 5 players. Do not 100% quote me on that. As you can tell, there are more Summers and Beths and Jerrys and Genius Waves in here. I just realized most of these are upside down, so we'll fix that real quick. There you go. Now you guys can kind of look at them better. Yeah, see, there's more Beths, there's more Summers, there's more Beths, there's the Jerrys. Yeah, so pretty simple. So then you have your deck. Your deck will go down here in front of you, just off screen, because we are going to be showcasing more of the cards. Now to set up the playing field, you will have portal guns. Portal guns are going to be going right over here, which, just to make sure that, there we go. I wanted to make sure the camera didn't, I want to make sure I didn't put them outside camera view. Next you have Morty Waves. Morty Waves are something you do not want to collect in the game, because down here on the card, these are how many victory points everything's worth. In your starting deck, everything is worth 0 victory points. But with the Morty Waves, They are -1 point, but at the end of the game you can pair this with a Genius Wave, which is one of your power cards, to negate this card's victory point total. So essentially you're just canceling out a -1 and making it a 0. Because, you know, as the story goes, Ricks and Mortys, you know. I just had a brain fart about what I was going to say there, but you get the idea. The Morty waves, they don't come into effect that much, so you can put those on the other side of the portal gun, just off the screen. Next, you have your Council of Ricks. Now, this is your, essentially, leaders and all that. These are the ones you want to try and beat. That is not supposed to be there. That should be in the main deck. Apologies about that. One of these Ricks is supposed to go first. Oh yeah, so he goes first. Now, the way this works is Evil Rick is always the very last Rick. So what you gotta do is you shuffle up all your other Ricks. Dun, 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 dun. And then you put Evil Rick on the bottom of the deck, because he is always supposed to be the last Rick you fight. And then you put Rick 4 on top of the Rick deck. Next, I appear to have lost the cards. Oh, here they are. Next, you have your good old location deck. This is what you use for the portal gun. So you go in and shuffle this up. Then you put these underneath the portal gun, and then you take your location deck and you put it on the location just so you don't accidentally mix it in with everything else. Excuse me. Next, you have your actual main deck. This is a huge deck of cards. Again, Rick Sanchez C137 is supposed to be in this deck. We accidentally put everything in the wrong order. They all have the same. Every card in this game has the exact same backing, so make sure you don't shuffle the wrong things into the wrong places. So we'll go ahead and shuffle this deck up. Once you have everything set in location, have someone split the deck as usual, because we're all courtesy gamers. And then we will set the deck just off screen right there. Now the way this works is you will reveal the top 5 cards. 3, 4, and we're kind of out of room, so we're going to slap down 5 up here. Now the way this works is you all decide who goes first, however you want to do it. So from your own deck you will draw 5 cards. Now I don't know what I'm going to get here, so let's see here. We flip over. Alright, so as you can tell here, what you do is you play every card from your hand that you can. Anything that doesn't is just discarded, but everything will cycle back into your deck. So the Jerry has no effect, but I do have 4 Genius Waves which grant me 1 power. If this will focus. There we go. They all grant you 1 power. Your power determines what you can buy out of these numbers in the bottom right hand corner. So with 4 power, I could either buy the Portal Gun Reloader, an Aqua Rick, or I can just go ahead and buy a normal Portal Gun. So with that, I will go ahead and buy the Portal Gun. It is set into my played pile, and then it all goes to the graveyard. Now I will draw my next 5 cards, perfect 5. And I have 3 Genius Waves, a Beth, and a Summer. Kind of expected, so I have 2 no effects, and then 3 Genius Waves of 1 power. With this, I will go ahead and buy the Portal Gun Reader, which is a special card that you basically play at any other time in your hand. It doesn't have a class. There are Ricks, there are Mortys, there are starters, there are specials, and there are equipments, just like the Portal Gun. So the Portal Gun Reader, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, place them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile, then choose a foe. That foe decides which pile you draw, discard the other. Really solid card. And then what you do is you put that, take this, take your discard pile, and you shuffle all this together. Your end-all goal is to is to try and score as many of these points as you can. The bigger the numbers down here, that's what you total up at the end, and that's what you need to help win the game. Now, those are your victory points. Also, once your turn is over and you pass, you flip over the next card of the deck and it fills in the next slot. We appear to be getting a lot of specials this game. My shuffling skills are not that quite supreme. So now we will deal out 5. And of course, it would go around the table to each of the other players. But since this is just me doing a solitaire, this is just kind of to help explain everything to you. So then I look, and I already got the Portal Gun Reader again, so I will look at the top 3 cards of my deck. Top 3. I will look at them, place them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile, then choose a foe. That foe decides which pile you draw. So I would possibly do it like this. Yeah, I really don't know what I would do in this situation because I really don't like any of them, but let's say that they give me this pile. Which pile you draw, so we'll draw this pile, and then this goes into the discard pile. This stays out, but it has already been used. With this, I will drop down the portal gun, which the portal gun does, it gives you a free +2 power. It's not worth any points, but don't fret, this is actually really good. It is +2 power, if the camera will focus for me. Hello, Mr. Camera. You may discard a card if you do. Play the top card of the location deck. At the end of the turn, if you did not buy it, put it into the location discard pile. So I will discard the Summer. That just goes into my deck discard pile that will be shuffled later. I flip over the top card of the location deck, which is Reverse Height Universe. This is a location. It is ongoing, and since I technically played it this turn through the portal gun, it does resolve. Once during each of your turns, reveal the top card of your deck if it has cost 3 or less, plus power equal to its cost. The cost is 0 from the, so this is coming from the top of my deck. It is cost 0, so I don't get any power, but it does sit there if I want to buy it. Now, I do have 3 Genius Waves and Jerry, so Jerry, just like the TV show, you're a piece of shit, Jerry. Sorry, we gotta be family friendly here. You're a piece of crap, Jerry. Alright, so put that under there. Again, this is just kind of a really simple game. +2 power, plus these other 3, that makes 2, 3, 4, 5 power total. So now I can buy anything that costs 5, or I can buy any combination of anything that costs 5. I don't really care about the Reverse Height Universe, so I'm going to let that one pass, so it'll just go to the location discard pile. So let's see, with my 5 power, I think I will buy a Portal Gun, which costs 3 if I can pick it up. You can see it costs 3, and then I will buy the Aqua Rick, which costs 3 as well. Pick up the cards, drop them all in the discard pile, pass turn around the table. I go ahead and draw my 5 cards. I only have 4 cards, so that means I have to shuffle my deck. The top card of the deck is flipped over. Nothing but specials, apparently. I really need to learn how to shuffle the main deck, apparently. Then 5. So then play continues around the table, and so on and so forth. For each awarded in the destroyed pile, if there are none, draw a card. The destroyed pile goes off the table somewhere. Everyone decides where exactly they'll put the destroyed pile. Usually people put them in the box because this is a nice handy dandy sized box. So yeah, essentially I have 5 power. I can buy anything worth 5 power that I want, so we'll just buy the Spider Guard. And then we will put that there. Flip over the next card. Ricks don't care about Mortys. Nothing but specials. Let's see if we can change this up a little bit. Okay, so next card. Alright, so let's say the opponents have bought these 4. Of course, everything recycles at the end. So then we just do the simple thing. I know this isn't exactly the best way to teach it. Alright, so there are cards that say, like this one, it has the word ongoing on it. So whenever you play this, you have the option to either give this a focus. It has ongoing with defense. So anything that says ongoing defense usually means that whenever you play this card, you can either choose to put it in your discard pile or leave it face up in front of you, and then whenever someone attacks you, which different cards will say attack an opponent or whatnot, you can then, as it do what it says for the defense to prevent the attack. So like discard this card from play to avoid an attack. So it sits on the field, you just drop it in your discard pile, it gets shuffled back later. The only perk of putting it back is if you know you're not going to be attacked for a little bit, you do at least get to draw a card, which is really good for red X. Equipment works just like any other card. All the equipments usually have an attack on it, especially the laser pistol, which costs 4. Destroy a card in your hand or discard pile and choose a foe. Attack that foe, discards a card. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the Council of Ricks. Not really essentially, but literally the way to win the game. Oh, I still hit the camera there, that's my fault. So, the thing is, we already know that the last card is Evil Rick, because that's how the rules set it up. Your other 5 cards of the Council of Ricks are all random. You don't know what order you're going to fight them in, but you always start with Rick 4. With Rick 4, he has draw 4 cards and then discard 2 of them, start the game, the Council of Ricks on the stack. He is worth 4 victory points and he costs 8. So whenever you kill a Council of the Rick, it gets put into your discard pile and then shuffled into your deck so you can use them as well. So anytime you play him, you will draw 4 cards and then discard 2 of them. Now, by the wording of this card, draw 4 cards and then discard 2 of them. That means you are discarding 2 from the 4 cards you draw. This did take a little bit of understanding because we didn't know which way they wanted the rules to work. But you draw 4, so let's look at our main deck. You draw 4, look at it, and then we discard 2 of them we don't want. So with this, I would probably discard a Portal Gun and a Beth because you don't really need 2 Portal Guns. And then these get added into your hand. Pretty simple. So once you kill the Rick 4, that is 4 free victory points. It gets put into your hand. Then once the turn is over, again, once the turn is over, here we'll put Rick 4 up there so I don't shuffle him in by accident. You flip over the next Rick. This is Rick Prime. Whenever he flips over, all the other Ricks, you instantly go to the group attack. Each player discards a card with cost 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, etc. So any cards that with this number down in the bottom right that are 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 are instantly discarded. Now this is only whenever he flips over. This isn't an every turn thing, it's just whenever whenever you kill a Rick and he flips over, that's what he does. So he costs, how much is it? He's 11 with worth 6 victory points. He is Rick Prime, and then put 1 card of each different prime number cost from your discard pile into your hand. That is whenever you actually play him. Once you kill him, you flip over the next Rick. Again, all these are random. When we get Zeta Alpha Rick, he just gives you +4 power with the group attack. Whenever he is flipped over, each player passes a card from their hand to the discard pile of the foe on their right. If you pass a card with cost 4 or greater, put a card from your discard pile on top of that foe's deck. Pretty decent card. He's worth 5, but he only costs 9. Once you successfully kill him or recruit him, we flip over and now we go to Quantum Rick. Play the top 2 cards of the location deck. At the end of the turn, gain 1 of them and destroy the other. So then you just go to the location deck. You flip over 2 of them. So we got Ass World and Cromulent Dimension. So as it says, you play both of them so you get their effects. At the end of the turn, you gain 1 of your choice and then destroy the other. So without paying for them, I would take the Cromulent Dimension, for example, and then I would destroy the Ass World, which instead of going to the discard pile, it then goes to the destroyed pile. Once you slay him, oh sorry, I forgot to read his group attack. Group attack, each player flips their character card face down until this card is defeated. So these cards, the ones that grant you abilities, as long as Quantum Rick is face up, this card is flipped face down and you don't get any of the bonuses. So like with Drunk Rick, if you play 2 or more special cards during your turn, you get +2 power. So let's say I play 2 red X's or I play a red X and a fire trap because they are both specials. I automatically get a free +2 power because of my hero, not my hero, but my Rick ability. The next Rick after that, once you kill him, we flip over to Maximus Ricinus. He is worth 5 victory points. He costs a total of 10. His magical ability is each player must destroy a Genius Wave in their hand or discard pile. And the Genius Waves, if we already forgot, are the normal +1 power Ricks that will stop Morty Waves if you ever get any. So the Maximus Ricinus. Draw a card for each card destroyed this way. Yeah, so that means even you get to do it. Again, you may destroy a Genius Wave. You don't have to. You may. Don't let that text fool you. It says it right there. It says may. Group attack. Each player discards the highest cost card in their hand. So whenever he flips over, everyone discards the highest cost card in their hand. The last random Council Rick is Rictimus Sanchez. I probably mispronounced that. He is 5 victory points, costs 9. Play a random card from each foe's hand unless it has ongoing. When this card leaves play, return them. Group attack. Each player gains 2 Morty Waves. So as soon as Riximus Sanchez gets flipped over, every player is then granted 2 Morty Waves, which are essentially 2 dead cards that you get in your hand. You can't technically feed them into portal guns because it just says discard a card, so you discard it to your discard pile. The portal gun then triggers, but these 2 cards are then randomly shuffled into your deck. You don't want Morty Waves unless you get, if we can find them real quick, the Rick Sanchez C137. There he is, Rick Sanchez C137. He is a star victory point, costs 7. It grants you +3 power, and at the end of the game, this card is worth 2 victory points for each Morty wave in your deck. So that means for every Morty wave, he is essentially worth 1, unless you counteract it with a Genius wave. And doing that, it is then worth 2 victory points. So getting the Rick, there's only one of these in the deck, so this is almost the card to go for. The problem is you don't know when it's going to show up, who's going to have the chance to buy it. It does cost 7. So if he gets flipped over first, and you're going first, you kind of know what you want to go for. You want to try and buy portal guns, so that grants you +2 power. Grab as many of them as you can. Get those portal guns, because they're free, +2 power. You don't have to discard the card, but this is the card you really want to go for, just because Morty waves become a big factor near the end of the game. Once you kill him, that goes away, and then we flip over into the evil Rick. This is the final one. Once he is defeated, the game instantly ends. The game will also end if the deck runs out and you cannot refill the 5 slots. Evil Rick, his ability, each foe gains a Morty wave. Yeah, that's right. Each foe will get a Morty wave. Stack ongoing. So every turn, this ability triggers. At the start of your turn, you are attacked. Your attack is discard a card with Morty in its name, or destroy a Rick in your hand, or discard pile. So he does give you 2 options. Or if you have different cards that will let you defend, like where did I put Red X? I appear to have lost Red X into my play pile somewhere. But how it said defense, you could use this against his ability. He was worth 6 victory points, and he cost a grand total of 12. This is actually a really simple game to play. Honestly, anyone can pick it up. If you don't play Rick or Morty, if you've never seen Rick or Morty, or you don't like the show, it's still a really fun game to pick up. Then again, if you don't know what Rick and Morty is, I guess you're living under a rock. Or, you know, as Rick would probably say, you're a giant piece of crap. Censored myself there, don't worry. Yeah, there are many different locations, like how I mentioned that, like Summer, Beth, and Jerry, they are with 0 power, like Pizza World. Each time you play Beth, it is +2 power instead. There are a couple others. There are a couple different other worlds, if I remember. Yeah, it's Phone World and Share World. There was actually a game I played where I had 2 of these. Yeah, I think I was missing Chair World, which was the Jerry one. But anytime I played a Summer or Beth, they didn't seem to be worth 2 power. Now, I don't want to go over every card because I still want this to kind of be a surprise with you. I went ahead and showed you what the bosses were because this is your victory conditions. This is how you win the game. This is what will essentially end the game altogether. Again, so the way to win is once you kill Evil Rick, who is the very last Rick in the deck, every time. The order is usually this. It is Rick 4, Evil Rick, and then all the other 5 are all randomized, so you don't know which 5 you're going to get in the middle. The portal gun is just a stack full of portal guns, you don't have to worry about that. Then you just have your stack full of Morty waves. Altogether, this is a really great game and everything. Cryptozoic actually went above and beyond with this game. The game is really good. There's no problems anywhere in the game. You don't question anything that happens. I mean, you will question some of the cards you draw, but like one of the things I really enjoy about it is how Cryptozoic already put the specific card clarifications. Because there are some cards that are kind of confusing, like with the laser pistol, like this one for example, just because it's short. If you play this card, you must destroy a card. It's not optional. So some of the cards, they might have like forgotten something, but don't worry because they're all described. Yeah, like with Red X up here, when you play this, draw a card. You will not draw cards in subsequent turns while it remains in play due to the ongoing status. So yeah, this is actually a really, really good game. The Rick and Morty close recounter to the Rick kind deck building game. If you've ever played Legendary, it's not an exact clone like some people say, but they're both pretty much the same because it's a deck building game. It's also kind of like Ascension. The game is really good. I would highly suggest picking this up. We do have the ability to where you can order this. I will make sure to link the Facebook page in the description down below so you can order one from us as well. We do have a couple copies left that do include the promo Rick, wherever I put it. I've already lost, there it is. because since this is the first printing, we do have a couple copies left in the store. By the time we're recording this, that doesn't mean someone came in and bought them, but you can ask. It does include the promo Rick, which you can only get from the very first printing, which is the first wave they released. But yeah, so this has been a game review over the close Rick counters of the Rick Kind deck building game. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, make sure to leave a like on the video. If you want to see more of these, let us know down in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If it's red, that means you're not subscribed. So click it, hit that bell icon. That way you'll get notified anytime we upload. I'm poking Morty's eye because he's staring off in space and not looking. These guys are actually paying attention. I hope you all enjoyed this video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. This has been CCYDNE21 from CCYDNE Hobbies. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.